The sky above planet Zarian burned with golden fire as the final match of the intergalactic combat games ended. In the center of the giant battle ring stood General Thalixa, tall and proud. Her armor shone with the symbols of victory. Her four strong arms were raised, and her red eyes glowed like hot coals. She was the undefeated champion. No alien from any system had ever beaten her. The crowd roared. Thousands of aliens shouted her name, Thalixa, Thalixa. Their voices echoed through the floating arena. Thalixa turned to the floating cameras and laughed loudly. No warrior can match me. Not from Creel, not from Marthon, not even from Earth. She paused, then added with a sharp smile, I'll marry you if a pathetic human ever beats me. The crowd burst into laughter. Even the announcer chuckled. You heard her, folks. Human will have to win before Thalixa ever gets married, and we all know that will never happen. The games ended with fireworks. Zarian celebrated another year of strength and honor. But far away, on a quiet moon near Earth, one human saw the broadcast stand. Something changed. Jaden Cole was not a soldier. He wasn't strong or famous. He was just a quiet young man who helped his older sister, Dr. Myra Cole, with her science work. She was a smart researcher who worked at the Earth spaceport, studying alien languages and travel. That night, while cleaning up data chips in Mira's lab, Jaden noticed a news replay of the Zarian games. He watched it on a small screen while sipping warm tea. When Thalixa laughed and made her bold statement, Jaden's eyes narrowed. Pathetic human? He said softly. Mira walked into the room and raised an eyebrow. You watching alien fight shows again? Jaden turned to her, said humans are weak. She made a joke about us. But we're not pathetic, are we? Mira smiled. She's just proud. She's been champion for 10 years. Nobody's ever beaten her. Jaden stood up slowly. I think I want to join the next combat tournament. Mira laughed. Jay, you don't even like fighting. I don't. Jaden agreed. But maybe someone needs to remind the galaxy what humans can do. The next few weeks were full of work. Jaden trained in basic alien movement styles. He didn't become strong, but he became clever. He built small tools using science, logic, and human tech. He focused on balance, speed, and timing. Mira thought he was crazy. Even if you don't win, they'll laugh at you. They think humans are weak. Jaden smiled. Then I'll surprise them. With Mira's help, he signed up for the intergalactic combat games as the first human challenger in years. And so, the journey to Zarian began. The arena was bigger than Jaden expected. It floated high in the clouds above the city of Tozorn. Silver ships hovered above, and alien creatures of every shape and size filled the seats. When Jaden stepped into the training hall, other fighters looked at him and whispered, Is that a human? He looks small. Why is he here? Jaden ignored them. He quietly warmed up, watching the others. Most of them were large, loud, and fast. But many also lacked control. They fought with power, not with thought. That gave Jaden an idea. The next day, the first round began. Jaden's opponent was a tall, horned alien with 3 legs and strong arms. The alien grinned and charged at him. Jaden didn't panic. He watched, dodged, and used his quick steps to move around. At just the right moment, he tapped a small button on his belt. A flash of light came from his glove, a temporary mirror shield.
Oh.
The alien saw its own charge coming back and froze for a moment. Jaden rolled forward, tagged the alien's knee, and knocked it slightly off balance. The alien fell. The crowd went quiet. Then, cheers erupted. Jaden had won, Thalixa watched from her private chamber. She had not planned to watch the first matches. Something about the name human had caught her attention. She narrowed her eyes at the screen. He's clever, she said. But clever tricks won't win forever. Still, she found herself curious. Something about the human boy's calm face bothered her. That night, Jaden sat on the rooftop of his small room. The twin moons of Zarian floated above him. Myra sent him a message from Earth. I saw your match. You made headlines. Alien News called you the gentle trickster. Jaden smiled. He didn't care about fame. He only wanted to prove one. thing? Humans weren't weak. They were just different. And sometimes that was enough. The next morning, the sun rose over the shining towers of T-Zorn City. The intergalactic combat arena stood high above the clouds, glowing with excitement. Alien crowds filled every seat, buzzing with new energy. Everyone wanted to see the human. They had all heard the news. A human had won his first match not with power, but with smart thinking. Some laughed, others were curious, and a few began to wonder if the rumors were true. Was this Earth boy really a threat? Jaden Cole walked into the arena halls with calm steps. He wore a simple, dark suit made of earth fiber, mixed with soft armor patches. His sister Myra had designed it to absorb shock, but stay light. In his small bag, he carried no weapons. Only tools, a mirror disc, an echo reader, and a magnetic pulse chip. All legal, all small, but very useful. He stopped near the entrance of the arena and looked up. The sky was clear. The wind was cool. He whispered to himself, one fight at a time. Back inside the royal chamber above the arena, General Thalixa stood near the window. Her forearms were crossed, her red eyes sharp. She had not come to watch every fight before. But this human had caught her attention. He is not strong, she said to her second officer. But he has patience. That is dangerous. We remove him? Her officer asked. Thalixa shook her head. Let him fight. Let him learn. And silently, she added in her mind, let him lose. The bell rang. The second match began. Jaden stepped into the wide battle circle. The floor was made of black stone, with lines of light that followed every movement. High above, cameras floated. To capture every angle, his next opponent was a tall alien warrior from the planet Brunix. The alien was covered in blue scales, with 4 eyes and long arms like blades. He moved quickly, like a dancer, and made a loud clicking sound with his mouth. The crowd cheered. Careful, human, the announcer shouted. Brunix warriors have never been beaten in round 2. Jaden nodded once. He took a breath. He didn't feel fear. He had already studied this alien style last night using old videos. He waited. The Brunix fighter charged, spinning like a storm. His long arms sliced the air with sharp whistles. Jaden dodged, stepping to the side. His boots gripped. The floor tight. As the alien came close, Jaden dropped a small silver disc on the ground. The disc flashed. A wave of light reflected around the floor, showing every movement like a mirror. The Brunix stopped, confused. He now saw not one human but 10 reflections. Moving all around him, he swung in the wrong direction. Jaden rolled forward, tapped the alien's leg with a magnetic stick, and stepped away. The alien's leg stiffened. The magnetic pulse had locked one joint. The Brunix tripped and fell to his knees. The bell rang. Victory. Jaden Cole. The crowd was silent for a second. Then they clapped. Not loud at first, but it grew. Slowly the cheers began again. Some booed. Some whispered, but many shouted with joy. The human wins again. He's not strong, but he's smart. Jaden bowed, then left the arena with quiet steps. In the training halls, other fighters now looked at him differently. Some still laughed behind his back, but others looked worried. A few came to ask questions. How did you know Brunix speed? What kind of tool was that disc? Do all humans fight like this? Jaden smiled politely. No, some humans are even smarter than me. That evening, while walking in the garden near his quarters, Jaden heard a voice. So, ... The clever little Earthman, he turned. Standing in front of him was General Thalixa. Up close, she was even taller than he expected. Her armor had golden edges, and her forearms were crossed in front. Her face showed no emotion, but her red eyes studied him carefully. Jaden nodded. You're the one who said a human could never beat you? She gave a short laugh. Still. True, you've won 2 games. Small one. But you haven't faced real strength yet. I don't want to fight with strength, Jaden said calmly. That's not what makes humans strong. Oh, Thalixa asked. Then what does? Jaden looked up at the sky. We learn We think. And when we lose, we grow. Thalixa raised one eyebrow. She wasn't expecting such an answer. You're not like the others, she said. But it won't save you. If you reach the finals, I will be waiting. Jaden gave a soft smile. Then I'll be ready. Back in her chamber, Thalixa sat alone. She looked at her old trophies, her medals, and battle marks. For the first time in years, her heart felt ... curious. No warrior had ever spoken to her like that. With respect, but also confidence, she whispered. To herself, strange human, you are not what I expected. Meanwhile, Jaden stood on the balcony of his room. Mira sent him another message. You're doing great. Earth is watching. Even the Mars station wants to sponsor you now. Jaden replied, It's not about winning anymore. It's about showing them that being human means something. He looked out over the alien city, lights glowing like stars. The journey ahead would be hard, but his heart was steady, and deep inside a fire had started to grow. 3 days had passed since Jaden's last match, but the arena still echoed with his name, Jaden Cole. The human with no muscles but full of tricks. The small one who dances around giants. Will he survive the next round? Some aliens still laughed at him. But now, many watched him with respect. Jaden didn't mind the jokes. He knew that strength wasn't everything. Thinking ahead, that was his real weapon. Today, he would face a true giant. The 3rd round was held in a different battle zone. It was a deep rocky pit with moving platforms. A single wrong step could throw a fighter off balance. The place was called Crush Ringby because it crushed the dreams of many. Jaden looked around and whispered, So this is where they send the clever ones to fall. The gate opened. His next opponent stepped in. Gorak of Oxen. He was 3 times. Jaden's size, with armor made from real stone and a body shaped like a mountain. He didn't speak. He only growled. The crowd went silent. Everyone waited, then the bell rang. Gorak moved like a slow storm, heavy, dangerous. Each step shook the ground. He lifted a huge stone hammer with one arm and swung it down. Jaden jumped. To the side, just in time, the hammer hit the platform and broke it in half. Too slow, Jaden muttered, but he knew he couldn't dodge forever. Gorak wasn't smart, but he was strong enough to destroy the entire ring. Jaden reached into his belt and pulled out a small round sensor. He placed it on the ground and backed away. The sensor started scanning. It showed him which platforms were about to move or break. He used the data to plan his steps. While Gorak chased blindly, Jaden danced between safe platforms, making the giant follow him into traps. At one point, Gorak stepped on a shaking block. Jaden triggered a light vibration from his wristband. The block collapsed and Gorak slipped. The giant didn't fall out of the ring, but he was now stuck, half buried in broken stones. Jaden walked up to him, calm, silent. He didn't attack. He simply looked at the referee. The bell rang. Victory, Jaden Cole. The crowd stood in shock. He hadn't thrown a punch. He hadn't shouted. He had used the arena itself as his weapon. Then cheers erupted again. Louder this time. Not just surprise dash respect from the high balcony. General Thalixa watched the match closely. He moves like wind, she said to herself. No wasted energy, no fear. Her officer beside her looked confused. Do you want us to stop him now, General? No, Thalixa said, her eyes narrowed. I want to see how far he can go. That evening, Jaden sat in the arena's small garden surrounded by alien flowers. Some opened in light. Some glowed in darkness. He touched a red one gently. You didn't fight like a human, said a voice behind him. He turned. It was Maka, a lizard-like alien who had fought in the games for 5 years. Jaden smiled. What do humans usually fight like? Maka sat beside him. They rush. They shout. You walk quiet and think too much. Jaden laughed softly. Thinking keeps me alive. Maka nodded. Be careful. Tomorrow you face Zarek, the twin-fanged. He doesn't like tricksters. Thanks for the warning. The next morning, the arena was filled to the highest seats. Aliens from faraway systems had come just to watch the human. Mira sent Jaden a message from Earth. You're trending across 10 planets now. I hope you're eating well. Jaden smiled at the message, then walked to the battle gates. He had one goal: reach the final match. If he reached that, he would face Thalexa. Zaire UK, the twin-fanged, was not a giant, but he was fast and wild. His arms ended in blade-like claws. He could jump higher than any fighter in the tournament. The bell rang. ZAR UK charged. Jaden ran not from fear, but with purpose. He led Zarak toward the edge of the ring, where strange sound walls stood. The walls created an echo field, one that Jaden had studied earlier. Zarak roared, but the echo made his sound bounce back at him. He became dizzy. Jaden dropped a sound capsule. Boom. Zarak flinched, covering his ears in that one moment. Jaden used a magnet rope and pulled Zarak's feet from under him. The alien fell, rolling across the floor. Jaden didn't hit him. He simply placed his hand over the alien's chest and said, "Match over." Zarak blinked and smiled. The bell rang. Victory. Jaden Cole. After the match, Zarak came to Jaden and nodded. You didn't beat me with power. You beat me with respect. That's rare. Jaden held out his hand. Zarak shook it. Aliens in the audience began to chant, "Human, human." Jaden walked back to the halls, his heart full of quiet pride, but one thought stayed in his mind. One more win, then ... her. In her private room, Thalexa closed her screen. She stood in silence. He doesn't win to destroy, she said. He wins to prove something. She looked up at the stars. No human has reached the finals in 200 years. What will I do? He truly beats me? For the first time, General Thalexa didn't feel like laughing. She felt like watching very, very closely. The evening before the final match, the sky above planet Zarian was soft and quiet. The wind blew gently through the tall towers, and the lights of the city sparkled like stars. Even the great combat arena stood silent, resting before the final. Storm. Jaden Cole sat alone on a balcony inside the arena's guest quarters. He held a small cup of warm drink and looked at the stars. Tomorrow, he would face General Thalexa, not just the champion, not just the strongest alien warrior alive, but the one who said, "I'll marry a human if one ever beats me." Jaden never came here to win her hand. But now, the whole galaxy was waiting to see if he could. Footsteps echoed behind him. Jaden didn't turn. "I thought you'd come," he said. Thalexa stepped into the moonlight. She wore no armor, only a long dark robe with silver threads. Even without her armor, she looked powerful. Her forearms were relaxed, but her eyes were sharp. "You knew I'd come?" she asked. Jaden gave a small smile. "You don't like mysteries? I'm still a mystery to you." Thalexa moved closer, stopping just a few steps away. "No human has ever made it this far." Jaden nodded. "I know. I've crushed champions. From 15 worlds," she said. "What makes you think you'll be different?" Jaden turned and faced her fully. "I don't want to crush you. I want to challenge you." She raised one eyebrow. "Challenge me with words." Jaden laughed gently. "Maybe. Sometimes words cut deeper than blades." Thalexa stepped forward again, now only an arm's length away. "You fight with tricks." "And tools," she said. "That's not honor, that's escape." Jaden looked into her eyes. "No, it's survival. We humans don't have claws or wings or 6 hearts, but we're still higher among stars, among giants. We adapt. That's our strength." Lexa looked at him in silence. She couldn't find a quick answer to that. Then she asked, "Why do you care what I said about humans?" Jaden's smile faded, because many out there believe it. That humans are weak, soft, small, but we are more than what we look like. He looked up at the night sky. "When you called us pathetic, you weren't just talking about me. You were laughing at my whole kind." She didn't deny it. Jaden turned back to her. "I came to remind the galaxy that even the smallest star can shine bright." There was a long pause between them. Only the wind moved. Then Thalexa spoke in a quieter voice. "I've fought all my life. My people value strength. My titles, my power, everything I emit's built from victory. She looked down at her hands. But when I see you fight, I feel something else. Something I don't understand. Jaden waited. It's not fear, she said. It's curiosity. Maybe even respect. Jaden gave a soft nod. Maybe that's the first step toward peace. She looked at him again, eyes serious. If you win tomorrow, what will you do? Shake your hand. I'll thank you for the fight. I'll go home. Thalixa raised an eyebrow. And the marriage? Jaden smiled. I didn't come for that. I came for respect. She was silent again. Then she let out a short laugh, not the loud laugh from the first day, but a quiet one. Almost thoughtful. You're different, Earth Boy. Jaden stood. So are you. Before leaving, Thalixa looked at him one last time. Tomorrow, I will not hold back. I will fight you with all I have. Jaden nodded. That's what I want. She gave a strong nod, then walked away. Jaden sat down again. His heart was calm, but his thoughts were busy. Back on Earth, Dr. Miracle watched the news. Her brother's face was on every screen across the solar system. Reporters asked, will a human finally defeat Thalixa? Is Jaden Cole the face of a new kind of warrior? What happens if he wins? Mira turned off the screen and smiled softly. You've already won in the way that matters, she whispered. The next morning, the arena was full. Aliens from 50 planets filled the seats. Some came by ship, some watched by hologram. Others joined through space signals. The final match was about to begin. Jaden stood behind the gate, stretching his arms and breathing slowly. Across the arena, Thalixa stood tall in her golden armor. Her helmet covered her face. Her forearms were strong and ready. The gates opened. They both walked forward, step by step, until they stood in the center of the ring. The announcer shouted, "Today we witness history. The undefeated champion faces a human challenger who has surprised us all." The crowd cheered. Then silence fell. Thalixa took off her helmet. Jaden looked up. Their eyes met. No words, no laughter, only mutual respect. The bell had not rung yet, but everyone felt it. This was more than a battle. This was a message to the galaxy. The bell rang. The final match had begun, in the great arena above the clouds. Jaden Cole stood in front of the strongest warrior in the galaxy, General Thalixa. The crowd was silent, waiting. No one dared to speak as the two fighters faced each other in the circle of light. Jaden breathed slowly, his eyes focused. He didn't move first. Thalixa stood tall in her golden armor, all forearms raised. Her eyes were sharp. She did not smile this time. She showed no pride, only calm strength. This was not a show, this was a real test. Suddenly, Thalixa charged forward. She moved like lightning, faster than any fighter Jaden had ever faced. Her fist struck the ground where Jaden had just been. He jumped to the side, rolled, and quickly stood up again. The ground cracked. She's not holding back, Jaden thought. Good. Thalixa attacked again, spinning low with a sweeping leg strike. Jaden leaped over it, barely landing on his feet. He tapped the button on his belt, releasing a small mist into the air. The mist wasn't smoke, it was a soft scanner fog. It showed movement patterns around him in real time. Jaden could now read her next steps by watching how the mist moved. But Thalixa noticed. She smiled slightly. Clever, she said. Then she used a burst of power and blew the mist away with one powerful stomp. Jaden stumbled back. His tool was gone. Now he had to fight with only his instincts. For the next few minutes, Thalixa pushed him hard. She used her full strength, but also her wisdom from years of battle. She didn't fall for tricks. She didn't leave open spots. Jaden defended carefully. He used the walls, the floor, and even her own power against her. Every time she tried to corner him, he escaped with a quick move or a quiet trick. But he never attacked to hurt. He only used touches. Pressure points or movement to slow her down. Some in the crowd began to whisper, "Why doesn't he hit her? Why doesn't he fight harder?" But others understood. Jaden wasn't trying to win with pain. He was trying to win with meaning after a strong clash. Both fighters jumped apart. They stood across from each other, breathing heavily. Jaden's suit had burn marks. Thalexis' armor had small dents, yet both were still standing. She looked at him with new eyes. "You've had chances to strike," she said. "Why didn't you?" Jaden replied. "Because I don't want to win by hurting you." Thalixa blinked. "Is a combat match." "Yes," Jaden said. "But it's also a message. I came here to prove that humans are not weak. I don't need to crush you to show that." There was silence between them. Then Thalexa stepped forward. She removed one of her arm guards and dropped it to the ground. It was a sign of choice. A sign of honor. "If you want to end this," she said softly, "then finish the match." Jaden looked at her for a long moment. Then he walked forward. He placed one hand gently on her shoulder, not to harm, but to mark the end of the battle. The bell rang. A soft sound, match complete. The crowd didn't cheer. Not yet. They were confused then. Screen flashed the final result. Draw, not win. It's not loss, just equal. Thalixa raised her head and spoke loudly for all to hear. "This human," she said, "came not to destroy but to change. I called him pathetic. I was wrong." She turned to Jaden. "You have shown me that strength is more than fists. It is heart and mind and purpose." The crowd stood. Some clapped, then more. Then the whole arena cheered, not just for a fighter, but for a new idea. That maybe, just maybe, a human could stand beside the strongest in the galaxy. Not above, not below, but equal. Later in the quiet hall behind the arena, Thalixa and Jaden walked side by side. "You didn't win," she said, "but you didn't lose either." Jaden smiled. "I didn't come to take your crown. I came to meet your eyes." Thalixa paused. "Do you remember what I said? About marrying any human who beats me?" Jaden chuckled. "I remember." She gave a rare, soft smile. "You didn't beat me in the ring, but you beat something inside me, my pride." Jaden looked into her eyes. "So, ... what now?" She shrugged. "Maybe. ... we don't talk about marriage yet. May we start with something simple, like friendship?" he asked. "Like a rematch," she replied with a grin. That evening, the stars above Zarian looked brighter than before. A human and an alien walked side by side. No longer enemies, no longer strangers. Something new had begun. Not a victory of muscle, but a victory of understanding. The sun rose gently over planet Zarian. The sky was painted with soft orange and pink colors. The intergalactic combat arena was now quiet. The match between Jaden Cole and General Thalixa had ended, but the memory of it was still alive in the hearts of millions. No one had expected the final match to end in a draw. But no one had expected a human to stand as an equal to the galaxy's greatest warrior either. Jaden had not won with power. He had won with purpose. That morning, walked through the city markets of TSRN, alien beings from many worlds recognized him and waved. Some even tried to shake his hand. "You changed my mind about humans," said a merchant from the ice world of Trell. "You're the clever human, right?" asked a child with shining green eyes. "You made Thalixa smile. That alone is a miracle," joked an old lizard warrior. Jaden just smiled and nodded. He didn't feel like a hero. He was just a person who stood for something important, and now others were starting to understand it too. He returned to his guest room and found a message waiting. It was from Thalixa. "Meet me at the Sky Garden before sunset. Come alone." Read the message twice, then smiled. The Sky Garden sat at the very top of the arena tower. It was quiet, peaceful, and filled with rare plants from across the stars. Long paths stretched between glowing trees and blue-leafed bushes. Jaden arrived just as the sun was beginning to set. Thalixa was already there. Tree with soft petals falling around her. She had removed her armor and wore a simple black tunic. She looked calm, different from the warrior he first saw days ago. "You came," she said without turning. "You invited me," Jaden replied. They stood together, watching the horizon. For a while no one spoke. Then Thalixa finally said, "You surprised the galaxy." But more than that, ... You surprised me. Jaden looked at her. Is that a good thing? She gave a small smile. Yes. They sat on a stone bench beside a pond where crystal fish swam. The garden wind was soft, carrying the smell of sweet flowers. Thalixa looked into the water and spoke slowly. All my life, I was trained to win. No mercy, no emotion, just victory.
What?
It was like you were showing something else. Like winning wasn't everything. Jaden nodded. Sometimes, what you leave behind matters more than what you take. Thalexa looked at him. I've fought hundreds of warriors. Some were strong, some were smart. But none of them ever made me feel like I wanted to understand their world. Until now, Jaden was quiet. He could see that she was speaking from the heart. Do you think your people will be angry about the draw? He asked. Maybe, she said. Some already are. But others are thinking, talking. They're asking questions they never asked before. That's a start, Jaden said. Yes, she agreed. It's a new start for all of us. Walked together through the sky garden path. The stars above Zarian had begun to appear. Lights danced in the air like small fireflies. Thalixa suddenly stopped and looked at Jaden. I have one more question, she said. Jaden tilted his head. Go ahead. She took a deep breath.
Oh.
When I said those words that I'd marry any human who could beat me, I was joking. I didn't expect anyone to come close. Jaden chuckled. I figured, but now... She paused, looking serious. I don't see you as weak anymore. I don't see your people as small. You didn't just beat my strength. You changed my mind. Jaden stayed quiet, listening. Alexa took a step closer. I don't want to make another joke about marriage, but I do want something real. Jaden looked into her eyes. What's that? He asked softly. A partnership, she said. Not just between you and me, but between our kinds. Humans and Zarians. Fighters and thinkers. Warriors and builders. Jaden's smile returned. I'd like that, he said. More than anything, the next day a special meeting was held in the Grand Hall of Peace. Jaden and Thalixa stood together in front of leaders from many alien worlds. They spoke not as enemies, not as fighters, but as partners. Jaden spoke first. I am not the strongest human. I'm not even the smartest. But I came to show something important, that even the smallest voice can bring change. Thalixa followed. Once laughed at humans. I called them weak. But now I say this, do not judge by size or skin or power. Judge by heart. The room was silent. Then came the sound of hands clapping. It started slowly. Then it grew. Soon. Every leader, every alien, every voice in the hall clapped it not just for Jaden or Thalixa, but for something new that had been born. Hope Jaden sent a message to his sister Mira. It's done. The final match is over, but something better has begun. She replied, proud of you, little brother. Come home soon. Earth is waiting. That night, Jaden and Thalixa stood once more on the Sky Garden's balcony. Below them, the city glowed. Like stars above them, the stars glowed like dreams. We didn't win a war, Jaden said. But we started peace. Thalixa nodded. That's the better victory. They stood side by side, human and alien, warrior and dreamer. Not enemies, not strangers, but equals. And maybe, just maybe, something even more.